Aaron, can you talk about the way you guys have played through the playoffs? I mean, what has been the best working best for you guys?
Just playing pace basketball, and, playing 15 men deep, just playing fast, playing free, playing on random ball.
What are you going to take on to the finals? And just keep doing the same thing, or are you going to change it up?
Continue to play pace basketball. That's what got us here. I think that's what's going to help us succeed in the finals, and that's what we're going to have to do.
And last one from last year, conference finals, this year's final. What did you learn from last year to take on to this season?
I think we just learned how hard it is to get here, not taking being in this position we're in, and understanding like most guys don't play this long into the season, into the year. So just having our bodies right, our legs underneath us, I think was very helpful.
And what all did it?
Got to the finals, your balance attack. How critical would that be for you guys beginning tomorrow in this series against the Thunder?
I just say I think that's just who we are. It's our identity, playing pace basketball. I think that's a big part of it. So it's going to be on us to make sure we continue to do that here.
And what else?
Besides the game plan, what's the big difference in the approach you guys are having for the finals rather than the first rounds of the playoffs?
I think we just play pace basketball. We're going to play our brand of basketball. We're worried about us and playing our game and not let that carry us.
Aaron, can you walk us through what it took to get your ankle ready between you and Simon, all that work that it took?
It took a lot, man. It was pretty much we had every minute of that day. So it was cold tub, game ready, hyperbaric chambers, it was red light therapy, it was management to get a shot wave, it was anything you could name. We kind of threw it at the ankle, but there was no chance I was missing that game.
How huge were these few days to allow it for it to get even better?
I needed them. I was looking forward to these days off. I took them, and I'll be ready.
Pascal obviously had that great run with the Raptors in 2019 in the finals. What advice has he relayed to you guys, if anything, about how this week is maybe a little different, how to approach it?
He's been a constant presence in our locker room, constantly in our locker room, and he's done a good job of just, keeping us all level-headed and our eyes on the prize.
A lot of folks, media people, picking the Thunder. You guys appear to be the underdog. How much do you relish that? And just folks going up against you guys. How much do you relish that going to this matchup?
We enjoy it. I think everybody in our locker room, our staff, we enjoy being the underdogs. I mean, we've been the underdogs since I've gotten here for the last 3 years. Every game in the playoffs, it felt like nobody wanted us to win. We're here, and nothing's new, and we're going to attack it with the same mindset.
When you're watching film, especially with free players, is it fun? Is it exciting? Is it stressful when you watch it? Like what you have to face?
It's fun, just watching them, learning from them, learning like what they really like to do, what they're really good at, and just figuring out ways to stop that. I find it fun, and part of what I like about the game.
Isn't that like a little bit maniacal?
Say a little bit of perfectionist.
When you watch Shea, is he one of the more fun films to watch?
Yes and no. I mean, he plays at a very good pace, very interesting pace that not a lot of guards play at. So it's fun to watch him.
Sort of along those lines, Aaron, obviously he's a terrific hit with the mid-range scoring there. As a guy who's probably going to guard him a lot, what makes him so difficult to stop in terms of kind of getting to that part?
Like I said, he has a good pace, good rhythm. He does a good job of sizing up the defenders and getting you where he wants you. So it's just really finding ways to break him and take him out of his rhythm.
Aaron, The Athletic did an anonymous players poll, and we asked players to rank who they thought would make it to the NBA Finals, let alone win. And the Pacers weren't even in the top 8. Why do you guys think you were overlooked?
I think just because we don't have a lot of big name guys, not a lot of household names, and because of that, people just don't believe in us. But at the end of the day, it's just basketball. So the best team goes out there and plays. The best team usually wins. So.
Did you use this fuel?
Yeah, always. Yeah, whenever people doubt you, don't believe me, you always use that as fuel and motivation to be better.
Aaron, when you're flying in here, what are you thinking about reflecting back to what it took for you to individually get here, the Pacers to believe in you, and you to excel in this moment?
I didn't really do that much reflecting on the way here. No, I'm just focused on the task at hand and, just getting 4 more wins.
Aaron, how you doing? How are you?
How you doing?
This is for NBA Latin America. You know some words in Spanish or not?
No.
Hola.
Yes. No.
Are you ready to play? It's going to be tough. You know that. Maybe you're going to go with Shea. I don't know the game plan. But they have many tough guys. How do you prepare mentally?
Just taking it day by day, never being too high, never being too low. Just really looking forward to Thursday. So I said, just can't wait from tip off to begin to get the series started.
if you have to tell me, I don't know why, if you have to tell me some qualities of Shea and just Alexander to play defense on him, do you have in mind which one could be the weaknesses?
Yeah, I got a few things in mind.
Yeah? You're not going to tell me? But you have to study on
Yeah,
That's
sure.
good. That's good. Okay, last one. Your memories about NBA final when you were a kid. Do you remember someone special?
Actually, it's funny enough, the most memorable finals for me was the 2011 finals when Coach Carlisle was coaching, because I was a Miami Heat fan growing up.
Oh, that is Miami Heat.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Several players have mentioned that. Has that been anything Rick's used and pulled moments from it all?
Yeah. He's mentioned, he's told us some stories about his time doing that run, and just kind of making some similarities between that run and our run.
I'll take it, add fuel to the fire. Every game, there is what's the word? We're not favorite. We're always underdog. We love that underdog mentality. Since the first game against Milwaukee, we've always counted out. So we don't even look at that in Tuesday. We just worry about ourselves and the collective effort.
What's the dynamic been like between the bigs and LP and you guys really coming together, and whomever is needed is called upon?
Yeah, so just staying ready. I don't know if I'm even going to get a chance to play tomorrow, but I'll be ready. So, everyone's just positive spirit, ready to work whenever my name's called.
Health-wise, in a good spot.
Yeah, feeling good.
All right, let's say confetti's falling to the ground. You guys win the championship. What sneakers you wearing?
What sneakers?
Yeah.
Like game sneakers?
Yeah, what are your game sneakers?
Lately I've been wearing the LeBron 20s. This has been my go-to shoes.
Isn't afraid of the moment, man, and he's one of our key anchors on this team, man. And just seeing him throughout college, from going to Gonzaga through all these years in the league. I remember I was on a few other teams, and he hit a few game winners on us, man, and those hurt. So I'm glad to be on the team with him.
A lot of contenders build themselves through the draft, through free agency. I feel like the way the Pacers have done it, largely by trades, is maybe the most difficult way to do it. Do you ever talk with Kevin Pritchard or the front office about what they're looking for and how they build out a roster?
To be honest, I haven't really talked to Kevin Pritchard about what they're looking for. For me, I go to my teammates. The first thing I did was, as soon as I got traded here, I text Tyrese, TJ, and Miles just to see what I can do to contribute to this team and try and help this team. I always wanted to be a contributor and not be detrimental at all, and those were the exact words, that I text those three guys to see what they needed on this team, man.
Because so many guys have come in the way you have by a trade, do you feel like there's kind of a common bond there about you guys all coming from different places to build this place up?
Hey, there's a common bond in the trade aspect, but the common bond is winning games and building that chemistry with your teammates for the long run, and hopefully it turns out in this, and being able to play for the finals, play for a championship, and try and make some history.
How much do you welcome? I know you guys are a big underdog in the series. How much do you welcome that yourself and the other teammates as you get ready to face the Thunder in the finals? As an underdog, just the underdog coming into this series.
I said this before. We've been underdogs this whole playoffs, man, and even in the regular season. So it's nothing really new to us. We expect that. We cherish that, and we look forward to the competition and the competitiveness that the Thunder face for us. And we just take it head on. We know what we have in our locker room. We know the group of guys that we have out here, and we know what we can do out there on a daily basis. And we showed it multiple times. So we just have to do it on a bigger scale, and we're ready for it.
Thomas, let's say the confetti's falling. You win the championship. What shoes are you wearing?
I'm wearing my Jordan 10s that I always rock, man. The OVOs that I have right now, and the regular, I think it was the Skyfall ones that I have too.
If you could, sorry, you go ahead. If you could play anybody in history 1v1, who you playing?
Ooh, anybody in history? That's hard. That's a tough question. I'll probably go with my position. I'll probably say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Magic.
How you think you're gonna do against him?
I don't know, but it'd be a pretty good matchup with him. I love the challenge and the tenacity that it brings to him, and being an underdog against that, I love that as well.
Thomas, why
is Pascal brought to this team, and is he kind of a really vocal guy? Is it more by example? How has he helped you guys through his playoff?
Pascal's a little bit of both. He's vocal and leads by example, man. The main thing is that on this team that we have a champion. He's been through it. You know, he's been through the ups and downs. He's been through the turmoil. He's seen the confetti. He's felt that confetti. He knows the feeling. And you know, it's good to have a championship caliber player. You know, that's with us. And that's our main guy to help us through this time, man. He's been a great leader for us.
In the half court too, it gives you guys an option. Maybe how do you think that could be an impact in this series?
It'd be a very big impact for us. You know, with our running and shooting capabilities and a person that can shoot the ball and also be a key player to get us a bucket when we need it. You know, I think that plays in a great favor for us.
Why do you think it's been such a good fit between you and the Pacers?
I believe it's just been me just being myself, I believe, and then also my teammates accepted me and me being able to, you know, learn from my teammates as well and just being a sponge out there, trying to be a great teammate, trying to contribute as much as I can in any way, shape, or form. And, you know, my guys appreciate that and I appreciate them.
Our question of the day is, what year were you born?
I was born in 1997.
And where were you the last time the Pacers were in the finals, which was 2000? What were you doing in June of 2000?
Oh, man, shoot, I was 3 years old playing. I was probably in pre-K, something like that. But a lot of you.
Got a lot of young guys here. Appreciate it.
For sure.
So you talked about the journey yesterday. You had a bit of a detour on the flight. Can you tell us what exactly went down and how you guys were feeling?
Oh man, it felt like we was flying on that plane for 15 hours. Man. We had to stop in Tulsa to refuel, and then they said it was a tornado watch in Oklahoma, so we had to sit on the tarmac for another 20 minutes. Man, it felt like we had a whole day of traveling, literally.
Can be the key to beat Oklahoma in the final?
The key for us, I think we got to play together, both sides of the floor, be connected, help each other out on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, share the ball, play to our strengths, play within ourselves, as well as be confident, be fearless out there. Not think about the moment too much, just be in.
Last one. And there hasn't been a repeat title winner in the last 7 years. I'm saying it's like the death of the dynasty era. We're in like the parity era. What do you think is better for the game? You know, having dynasties, super teams, or kind of having parity?
I think the parity is good. I mean, it feels like going into the playoffs, there's 10 to 15 teams that could be in this spot. And that makes every series more interesting, every game throughout the season more interesting. I think when two teams are dominating with such heavy all-stars, it takes away from the others. So I think the league's in a great spot in that sense.
Shep, what's impressed you most about what this group has been able to accomplish thus far?
Just our consistency throughout the playoffs. I feel like we've been doing a good job of being connected on both sides of the ball and just playing our brand of basketball and sticking to what we know works. So yeah, it's been cool to watch and cool to be a part of.
In many ways, how much of a reflection of you guys do you see in OKC and vice versa in terms of pace and fast breaks and versatility and depth?
Yeah, I feel like we're both young, fast teams that are super deep, and I think it'll be a good matchup. Super excited to see both teams and what we're able to do. So,
has Rick used his experience as coach in the NBA championship as either advice or motivation or anything like that?
Definitely. He's been through a lot of playoff series, a lot of final series. So just what he brings advice-wise and just what he's been able to go through helps us out a lot. And yeah, definitely encouraging having someone leading our ship that has been through what we're going through. So
now that you've been with Pascal for a year and a half or so, what has impressed you most about the leader, maybe quiet leader that he's become, and then obviously what he can do on the court?
Yeah, just his leadership means so much to us, and just having a guy like that in our locker room who's been in these situations helps us out a lot. And I feel like he's been more vocal this year than he has been last year, and everything he says helps us, and it's just positive for us. So super grateful to have him in the locker room.
Then what makes that OKC defense as good as it is?
I just say how connected they are. They do a good job of taking away the rim, and they fly around. So just finding techniques and ways to combat that would be important for us.
Do you feel like the combating that you're saying, can it be done with the way you guys play normally, or do you feel like you have to work in a lot of wrinkles? How do you balance being yourself versus being the team that can break that down?
Yeah, we can't let them speed us up, I feel like I said, they fly around, so just taking care of the ball. I think limiting turnovers would be super important because they like to get out and run, and they're a great transition team. So just playing to our strengths, not doing anything crazy, and just playing within ourselves and knowing what each player is capable of and making the right play.
The message before last series was like one day at a time of the 13-day battle.
Mm-hmm.
What is it for this finals?
I think it's 18 days, 19 days.
So same kind of thing?
Same kind of thing. We have a couple of days in between for rest, which was different than the last series, but just taking care of ourselves, staying focused, and keeping the main thing the main thing.
Ben, I wanted to ask about LP and just sort of what he's been able to bring to you guys' roster and sort of his insight as a former head coach.
Yeah, he's great. He's the head of our offense and just our schemes. He's in our players' corner, so easy to talk to on and off the court. And just a great leader, great man, and someone I definitely look up to on our staff. So he's great friend.
Making some history here between you and Luke for the finals and all. Can you just talk about that? Both of y'all from Montreal, but both of y'all Haitian descent.
Sure. I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great opportunity for me, Lou, and the whole Montreal city. I think it's a great step in the right direction, just to be able to go against each other. Lou's a great friend of mine. I would call a brother right now, but we enemies. So just going to the finals, like I said, it's a great thing. For where we're from, the Haitian community as well, and I'm looking forward to play against him and create history.
And how important is going to be? How important is going to be the bench, the role players? I think you are more deeper than at the beginning of the playoff right now, and they have a great second unit. Do you think it's going to be a play role there?
You talking about us in Oklahoma?
Yeah, you and Oklahoma both.
Oh yeah, for
both
sure.
have a second good unit. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's just about the players that gets on the court. To go out there and produce and just give it all you got. That's the main thing, and I think the rest gonna take care of itself. But we obviously have good bench on both sides.
Being given all you've been through to get to this point, what are you kind of reflective of or most proud of to be in this moment today?
It's a great question. I'm not really trying to think about how much I deserve to be here. Because I know I work really hard, and I also have a great team. A great team that we didn't start the season the right way, and then we finally found ourselves. In time for us to be in the finals. So it's been a great thing.
The Thunder players says they will try to stop your pace. The Indiana Pacers pace, the players, the Thunder players, right? What are you concerned about the OKC? What aspects of the game?
I wouldn't say concerns. I would just say that it's preparation. We just go out there and we have a plan to win the games, and we just have to go out there and execute. That's the main thing.
And take care of the ball.
For sure. I mean, they're a great team as well. They have a lot of great players and a great defensive mindset. So it's just about taking care of the ball, doing the right things, and playing Pacers basketball.
There's so many Canadians playing, and it's obviously like a huge dominant thing right now. You guys are making a record of 4 in the finals. How does this feel to you? What does it mean to you, and also Canada?
It's a great question. I think it means a lot for Canada. I think that all the players coming from Canada, and I think there's just more and more every single year. So it's a great thing for Canada basketball.
Est-ce que c'est possible de redire en français, c'est quoi ta relation avec Lou, puis à quel point tu trouves ça spécial que deux gars avec le même background se retrouvent en finale aujourd'hui?
C'est vraiment excitant. C'est quelque chose une opportunité qu'on ne sait pas quand est-ce qu'on va pouvoir revivre cette expérience. Et de pouvoir jouer contre Lugens, un bon ami à moi, ça va être une bonne expérience. Je lui ai dit qu'on ne va pas trop se parler durant les prochaines semaines, mais que le meilleur gagnera.
As-tu un peu l'impression que c'est quasiment prédestiné que votre première finale soit l'un contre l'autre?
C'est un peu fou à penser pour de vrai, mais comme j'ai dit, je n'essaie pas trop de penser à ça pour maintenant. C'est quelque chose qu'on va pouvoir parler dans 15 ans ou dans 20 ans quand notre carrière va être finie. Alors, je pense que c'est une bonne chose que je puisse me concentrer, c'est de pouvoir être celui qui gagne.
What do you think the most important thing you guys learned from that Knicks series was to help you prepare for this finals?
I would say the possession of the ball, has been big for us, and rebounding. Obviously, it's trying to get to the NBA Finals. It's great teams, and they get to adjust. super quick the next day, the day after the game. So pretty much just taking care of the ball, and just making the right plays.
And how much sitting out last year kind of fueled or set you up for this moment to excel and put a chip on your shoulder a little bit?
It's a great question, man. I remember last year I was like, man, not being able to play. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't, with my shoulder. But it's a great humble situation for me to come out here. I went to the finals 2 years ago. I was a media correspondent for the NBA, and it kind of allowed me to see, what the NBA finals were like. And it's a full circle moment. But I'm trying to go out there and be a champion. So. Just doing the right things for sure.
Best memories you have from an NBA final when you were a kid? Which one do you remember?
Best NBA, my final moment? I would probably say LeBron James lifting the trophy.
Oh, it counts against the Warriors?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this isn't normal. All the media right before every game. No, I see your face every day, but all these guys, this ain't normal. But it just feels so normal to play, to keep playing. It don't feel like the season's supposed to be over yet.
Have you ever felt like you had to check yourself between the emotions of it's a big deal to win the East, but you still have another series to go?
Nah, I feel like everybody on our team is super locked in. We locked in and can't wait for these games to start. So
you embrace being the underdog. I mean, a lot of people are, there's been a lot of talk about disrespected, overlooked, different things. How do you feel about that?
We love it. We love that we're the underdog. We love to prove people wrong. We prove people wrong with our success and what we do as a team, and we're going to continue doing that. So,
what stands out to you about this OKC team and the challenge you guys have in front of you?
They're really good. They're really, really good. Obviously, they wouldn't be in the finals if they weren't. But they're young like us. They like to run. We like to run. And we kind of have similar game, but differences in some ways. And we're gonna see how the series go after game one. So
you took a moment on the court with your daughter and everything, and to enjoy that against your hometown team, against the team that drafted you as well. Can you describe kind of what that feeling was like for you, and then what you're feeling going into this series?
Yeah, that was an amazing feeling. Obviously, we beat the Knicks. We got to have the little celebration after the game in Indiana with all our amazing fans. And I was able to have my daughter out there with me, holding her. I don't think she understood kind of what was going on. She's still a baby. She just was super excited to see everybody else excited. But it felt amazing. And going into this series, we got to put that behind us. That's over already. That's out the door, and we have a new door to walk through with OKC and get 4 more wins.
Can you take us through that pregame routine and in terms of finding someone in the crowd and working with Mike to do the alley-oop?
Yeah.
When do you remember first doing that? Why did you do that? And how you've carried it along for a couple of years now?
Yeah, I don't remember when the first time I did it. I know all of this year we for sure did. I think I might have done it a couple times last year, but yeah, we just find a fan, find somebody usually that's not as excited. We need to bring their energy up. We'll find one of those kids in the stands and tell them, come throw me a lob, take a picture with me, get to stand on the floor, be around the guys, get that energy up. But ever since then, Mike will ask me, or he'll be like, oh, I see a kid that we can pick out, and we just have fun with it. Throw a lob off the backboard or throw it in the air, and just watch what happens.
Obi, how big has Coach Carlisle's kind of guidance been with him having so much experience in this spot, and despite your team's inexperience, although you wouldn't act that way, how crucial has he kind of been just to keep the main thing?
Yeah, Coach's been amazing, and like you said, he has a lot of experience with winning the finals and being in the finals. And all of us are the players. We understand that, and we're super locked into everything he's telling us. Because he's been here before and he knows what it takes to win. And so we're all locked into everything that he's telling us to do, and following our leaders, Todd, Pascal, Miles. They're leading us through all of this, and yeah, can't wait to get it started.
Last question.
Obi, probably they asked you before about that. I just arrived. I want to ask you about Kylie Clark. How is that situation? Crazy situation, in my opinion. You are playing and she's right there in the first row, and everybody's looking at her.
Yeah.
You live in the same city. How crazy is that situation? All what's happening with her?
Yeah, Caitlin's amazing. Super amazing. She's a great player. Having her be courtside and watching our games is awesome. We see the excitement that she has on the sides. But just like she's doing that, we do the same. Like when they're playing, like it's so much. It's a joy to watch. Like it's fun to watch, and I'm sure it's pretty fun to watch us play as well. And so we're gonna keep supporting each other and do great things.
How close is she with the team? I mean, I don't know if she's going to practice. You could play with her. Or shooting.
I mean, we won't really practice together, but like we'll talk sometimes over IG. She's really close with Ty and his girls, so they talk a lot more than any of us. But she's a great person, and we just want to see each other be successful.
People have to realize how hard this is to do, and to be able to experience it. I want a lot of us to know how hard it is to get here, but the job's not done. We have 4 more wins, and we've got to focus on that.